There are reports that Ottawa is rethinking a campaign pledge. The concern is that delivering on it might give more fuel to overheated housing markets. An internal document suggests that high home prices are why the Liberals aren't rushing to expand the home buyers plan. First-time buyers can borrow up to $25,000 tax-free from their RRSP and repay it within 15 years. The Liberals had promised to expand it. On this and more in Realty this week, we're going to ask the agents. Shawn Zigelstein is with Royal LePage in Toronto. David Hutchinson is with the Sutton Group, West Coast, Vancouver. He joins us today from Hawaii. David, thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure.
What do you make of this rumbling of changes or possibly no changes to the home buyers plan? What would that mean?
I like the idea in principle, but in fact, it's going to put more pressure on the entry-level prices. First-time buyers, that's where they're looking to buy, is entry-level. And there's a lot of pressure, upward pressure right now on that market for pricing because investors like those properties also because they can rent them out, they get a good rate on return, and they're not too expensive for investors to purchase. So it's just going to increase the competition at that price point.
Shawn, right now, how important is the home buyers plan to the overall real estate market?
I think it is very important. I think a lot of first-time home buyers can't get into the market right now strictly because of the fact that the prices are too high. And with the new qualifications coming into place on January the 1st, I think as much help as they can get, the better it's going to be. And whether it's a intergenerational transfer from RRSPs down from their parents or grandparents, I think that would be a good thing for them because they are going to be fighting those upward price changes that we're going to see happening in the new year.
David, right now, couples can borrow up to $25,000 from their RRSPs. Let's say that went up to, say, $30,000. What could that mean for the real estate market, do you think?
In Vancouver, I don't think it's going to mean a whole lot. Prices are already quite high, and they're very high for first-time buyers. And even for first-time buyers who have good employment, good jobs, and even couples with two people having good jobs, it's very difficult to get into this market. I agree. They need some help to get into this market and get a home they can actually own and not rent. But I don't know if this is the solution.
David, just to focus on Vancouver for 1 second here, they unveiled their 10-year housing strategy, and it includes just the possibility of banning foreign buyers. I mean, that really sounds like a nuclear option.
Exactly. Now, the municipal government is up for re-election, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Banning foreign buyers, it's a big headline. We already have the foreign buyer tax, which was from the provincial government previously. I have heard some things about a foreign sellers tax, but I think whatever the municipal government has in mind, it would need the approval of the provincial government.
And how would you enforce, or how would the city enforce something like that?
That's the issue right now with the logistics. Everyone's just talking about this foreign, restricting foreign ownership, and people are jumping on the bandwagon, and, it's good for headlines and sells newspapers. But really, logistically, how do you do that? That is the big question.
Shawn, I know one of the big discussions in Toronto this week, in fact, in, I guess, all of Ontario, is that court ruling about, disclosing sales prices. What is that ruling going to mean for the average buyer out there?
Well, I don't think we're going to jump on it right away. I think the Toronto Real Estate Board has already announced that they are going to probably appeal the decision, try to take it to the Supreme Court and see what happens. As a general rule, I'm a believer that an educated customer and client, that's a great client for you to have. So the more information they can have that's readily available, which has been available throughout the United States for years and such, may not be a bad thing. It's really just a matter of how it's rolled out, how it goes out to the public, I think was the main concern that a lot of realtors have. But I think if we look at it from a general standpoint, I don't think it's a negative. I think really we can look at it as a positive because of that education standpoint that our clients can now have.
Shawn, what was the Toronto Real Estate Board trying to accomplish? What was their case?
Well, I think their case was that they really wanted to hold it close to their chest. I think a lot of the older agents out there, the older generation, really like to have the fact that they have the information and be able to keep that close. I think privacy concerns are another big issue that the Toronto Real Estate Board has. But at the end of the day, if this is the way that it's going to go, which is what it looks like might happen, I don't see a long-term problem with it in the fact that it's been happening in other places for a very long time.
A lot of developments on the real estate front. Shawn Zigelstein and David Hutchinson in Hawaii. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks a lot,
Thank
Scott.
you.